All right, you guys, welcome to this webinar. I'm so excited that you have committed to yourself and made the time for you to attend. If you're here, more than likely you have experienced a very traumatic, emotionally abusive past relationships and upbringing. And this webinar is going to just give you an incredibly powerful insight on how to become a powerful force to be reckoned with. If that is your past, that was my past as well. So I'm with you. I've been there. I know exactly what you've experienced. And this is going to be incredibly transformational information on how to get the fastest and easiest way to heal from all of that. There's so much information out there about narcissistic abuse and emotionally unavailable relationships, all of that, everything that's connected and related to it. And this is going to give you insight on how to connect, how to do the work to heal from a narcissistic abusive relationship, upbringing, and emotionally abusive past, and to truly, absolutely step into a life that you love, a thriving life without more labels, without more years of therapy, without more self-help books or medications. So let's begin. So when you are experiencing narcissistic and emotional abuse, that inner mind, it feels like it's so stuck and so blocked. There's complete chaos of your mind, and it seems like it never ends. It seems like it's on a roller coaster or a hamster wheel. And it seems like in the beginning, that was normal. And whether it came from your parents or from a personal relationship, that normal is what your mind equated to love. And it really led to this place where you are now, this place of self-destruction, complete craziness, this uncontrollable anxiety, feelings of emptiness inside, feelings of incredible insecurity, and this constant chaos inside your mind. Your mind probably feels like this picture looks. It leads to disassociation, disconnection from your mind and body. It leads to an inability to trust yourself, to love yourself. You don't feel whole. You don't feel complete. You feel this darkness and inside your body, and it leads to you self-sabotaging, and it leads to your mind truly thinking, feeling, and believing that you'll never break free from this. But I am here to tell you and show you as living proof you can break free from this very quickly and get away from that feeling like someone has hijacked your mind and controlling your life. So leave a message in the comments if this picture connects with you, resonates with you, and if this is how you're currently feeling. And if you are, then I'm glad that you're here, because you are going to transform and heal quickly from this type of mental and emotional abuse so you can live a life free from that, free from the inner chaos, free from the inner destruction, and be unmessable with, and actually and finally feel safe within yourself. Feel safe in this world, feel at peace internally, feel a calmness inside your mind and your body and your heart and your soul and your spirit. Feel confident in who you are, safe to speak up, free to use your voice, and feel powerful in every part and every area of your life. So I'm so glad you're here. Make sure that you stay till the end, because I have an incredible offer, and I want you to keep in mind the number 3,000. So just keep that number somewhere in the back of your mind, that number 3,000. And that is what this webinar is going to show you today. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly how this process that I discovered works. It's the exact process and transformation that I went through to heal far more quickly than I ever thought possible or imaginable. And it's the same process and journey that I am going to take you on as well. So this is me, Sarah Picaro. That's me on the right. That's one of my beautiful clients on the left. Her testimonials on YouTube. Go check it out if you want to. It's under client testimonials on my YouTube channel. But this is me, Sarah Picaro. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people have incredibly fast and powerful transformations and breakthroughs who have endured this kind of toxic abuse in the past, who've had emotionally abusive, emotionally neglectful, and emotionally unavailable relationships, narcissistic relationships. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people who've gone through that live a freeing life, a thriving life without more labels, without years and years and years of therapy, without more self-help books, and without medications. I've helped hundreds of clients who are right now absolutely loving their life. I'm going to share lots of their stories throughout this webinar, so please make sure to stay and really connect and resonate with those, because they are going to be sharing things that you more than likely have imagined that you want for your own life. I've helped them to release from the toxic past, the toxic upbringing, and live confident, free, happy, and abundant lives that they really found it possible to imagine was available to live. Now they're living that despite what they've gone through in their past, which is what you've also gone through in your past. And I'm still currently helping hundreds of both men and women reach new heights, new potential, regain choice in their lives, get unstuck, feel a sense of power and control over all areas of their lives, really tune in to that inner peace, and incredibly, massively grow in their confidence, their self-trust, and their self-worth, which can lead to incredibly beautiful relationships and powerful opportunities. And we do this in less than 2 months. So I hope you're getting excited. If this is you, if you are just coming out of a narcissistic relationship, or you are a serial narcissistic dater or relationshipper, if you find yourself always in toxic relationships, so whether you're just getting out of one or a series of them, and maybe you've been out for a while now and you've been laying low and taking it easy, and you would like to put yourself back out there, but now you're scared to put yourself out there. You've got FODA, which I call as fear of dating again, or fear of desire again. You are afraid to desire a healthy relationship because you think that you might get into an unhealthy one, and you don't want to go through that again. Or maybe this is you. You are out of that toxic and abusive relationship, and you're in a really wonderful relationship now, a healthy relationship now, but you're afraid of damaging it. You're afraid of messing it up because you're realizing that there's still unhealed things within you that you're projecting onto your new partner, or projecting onto your kids, projecting onto people who you know don't deserve that. Maybe you're quick to temper, you're quick to explode. And these people that you have in your life now are wonderful and incredible. And you wonder how much longer that they're going to take your stuff if you keep projecting it onto them. So maybe that's you. Or maybe you're really just frozen in life. You really want to change your life. You want to change your job. You want to change your career. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe there's this thing, this burning desire inside of you, and you're paralyzed by fear. You feel frozen. You feel afraid. You feel stuck. You want to do these things, but you don't know how, and you don't even know where to start. And you know that in order to, you've got to change something inside of you. Maybe perhaps you've started to do these things before, but you never follow through. You never see things to completion. So you're someone who starts something and then stops, and then starts and stops and starts and stops. And you're really tired of that. And you're frustrated by the fact that you always do that and you never see things through, and you can't count on yourself to really ever get anything done because you feel frozen, afraid, and paralyzed. And this probably leads to you feeling that you're completely exhausted. You're exhausted from letting other people take advantage of you, walk all over you. And this shows up in your work life. It shows up in your family life. It shows up in the life with your friends. You're the yes person. You're the fixer. You're the one that everyone else counts on and comes to and dumps all their problems on. And you're the one that knows how to fix it. And you do it, and it leaves you feeling run over, completely exhausted and drained because you've been a doormat for so long. So maybe that's you. Or if you are feeling so incredibly lost in life, you don't know where you are anymore. You don't know who you are anymore. You don't know what way is up or down. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you dislike. You're so unclear on your reason for being here. You're unclear on your purpose. You're unclear on your passions. You're unclear on your direction in life. Maybe that's you. And maybe you resonate with someone who just feels numb to everything. You suffer from social anxiety. You have isolated yourself. You feel emotionally numb. You just say, I don't feel anything. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I don't feel scared. I don't feel anxious. I disassociate all the time. I am derealized. There is a root cause to all of this and a really fast way to break through this. We're going to get to that in just a moment. So if you are someone who knows that there's more to life and you have that feeling that there's more in there, but you can't get to it yourself, regardless of what you try, and you feel like you logically know there's nothing holding you back, but you feel like there is, and you're ready to get rid of that feeling. Or perhaps you're someone who has a great life in all areas but one. Like you've got a good job, you have a loving relationship, but you have this excess weight. You can't break through this one area. Maybe it's, I've got all these other really, really great things, but I've gained 50 pounds and I can't get rid of this 50 pounds no matter what I do and no matter how hard I try. Perhaps that's you. And if any of those are you, I'm so glad that you're here, because you're going to see by staying through the end of this webinar how you can completely transform and break through all of those areas of your life by going through this transforming past pain to present power program and or working one-to-one together. So if this is you, someone who wants inner peace, someone who desires a clear, calm, and focused mind, then I want you to stick around. If you're someone who desires to feel whole, to feel like all the pieces are together, to be able to love yourself and attract others who love you just as much, and you want to feel lovable and believe that you're lovable and attract that kind of love and joy and happiness and peace and energy into your life. If you're someone who wants to live and be and feel free, who wants to be independent and break all the codependency ties, if you're someone who wants to feel worthy and deserving of good things happening to them, to really truly be that person that like the highlight reel, you look at it and you're like, man, they always just seem so happy. Everything goes their way and everything just seems to be really, really good for them. I want that too. If you're someone who wants to feel good enough and completely okay and happy with who they are, just content and satisfied in all areas of your life, and just really, really happy, like just happy because you're happy, then you're in the right place. And here's another thing. If you are someone who wants to feel safe, if you've come from a narcissistic or emotionally unavailable or abusive past, you've not felt safe. And now that's impacting all areas of your life. So if you are someone who wants to feel safe in all areas of their life, safe to be heard, safe to be seen, safe to be there, then I'm glad you're here. And I invite you to stick around, because I'm going to cover the 3 greatest strategies that I have uncovered and how they can completely help you transform and heal from that emotionally abusive past and from those emotionally abusive relationships, regardless of how long you were in those relationships, regardless of whether you still are in those relationships. Perhaps they're parents that you haven't gotten no contact with. Perhaps it's an ex or a partner that you haven't yet gotten no contact with, to get to that place of inner healing within yourself so you can completely transform and change the way you feel about yourself and the way that you live your life. So this is why you're still in pain, because your inner mind has these thoughts and has these beliefs. And I want you to remember that number 3,000. I'm going to drop that in there real quick. So, while that's still in the back of your mind, you may be thinking and believing this. You have found yourself here in a really, really dark and heavy place, and you're in a lot of pain. Maybe not physical pain. There's nothing physically wrong with you, but emotional pain generally has a greater weight and expense than physical pain. And this is why you're still in pain, because your mind has locked on to these beliefs. And I'm going to prove to you through this webinar why these are so unhealthy and why these are so so untrue and exactly what you can do to transform and break through this. So this is why you're still in pain, because you believe it takes years and years to heal. I heard this all the time. It takes a lifetime to heal. I do believe that life is a journey, but it doesn't take years to heal. You don't need to be in pain and struggle and suffering for a lifetime. That is not what we were intended to experience being put here. It does not take years and years to heal from this type of emotional abuse and manipulations. Mind you, it's not like that. It's not instant rice, but it certainly does not take a long time and a ton of work. It just doesn't take a lifetime. Your lifetime is meant and designed to be lived and to be loved. The belief that it takes forever to heal and a really, really, really long time to heal is beneficial for those who you pay every week to come back to help you. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. But another reason why you're still in pain is you think this won't work for me. You maybe have been following me for a while, and that's what led you here. And you're wondering, how is this different? I've tried everything else. I've tried all these, EMDR, brain spotting, DBT. I've tried self-help books. I've tried all these programs. I've tried therapy before. Well, the thing is that that's not true, because we haven't worked together. And that's why you're still searching. That's why you're still seeking something else. And that's actually why you're watching this, is because you don't believe that. If you did, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching this. So the belief that this won't work actually isn't true. But what is true is that everything else you've tried hasn't gotten you to where you want to be. And you're still riding that mental and emotional roller coaster, and you're ready to get off. It's exhausting. You want to get off the ride and you want to live your life. And that's the place where people normally come to me after having wasted so much time, so much energy, so much money, so much effort. So no wonder you're thinking this. I don't blame you for thinking this won't work, but I can assure you, if you're 100% fully committed, it will. And I'm going to prove that to you in just a moment. So the next belief that has you still stuck in pain is you're wondering, will this work for me? Like, that's great for them. In just a moment, I'm going to share with you other people who've gone through this transformation and journey, and you're going to see how incredibly powerfully it's worked for them, how their lives have completely transformed and changed. And while you're seeing their experiences, you may still think, well, that's great for them, but I am so messed up. I have so many problems. They probably weren't as messed up as me. And with the work that you've already done, you've realized your trauma and your problems run really, really deep. And there probably is a part of you that says, screw this, I'm ready to give up. I'm ready to call it quits. I need to throw in the towel. I cannot go on living another day like this. This is too much. I can't handle this. And I am already so broken. There is no way that with all the brokenness and pieces inside of me, I'm ever going to be able to be put back together. I can't handle one more thing. And Sarah, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like this is just one more thing. So if that's where you're at, understand that I know what you're thinking. I know where you've been, because I have been there too. And everyone that I have worked with was also there as well. So we're going to get into a little bit more about that first belief. It takes years and years to heal. So let's really explore that. If you've gone to counseling or you've gone to therapy, for years or on and off, maybe you were going from the time that you were a little kid and on and off to now, or when there was trouble in your relationship, you had taken a break from counseling or therapy and then gone back to try and get some help. No wonder you think it takes years to heal. It just resulted in you feeling worse about yourself. When you left, you felt more frustrated and you felt more angry because perhaps all you did was just talk about how the week was, or you felt like the therapist or a person that you were talking to that was supposed to help you really didn't get you. They just went to school for counseling or therapy, but they didn't specialize in the areas that you were struggling with the most. They didn't understand you or what you were going through. Or perhaps you were going for 6 months to a year, and it took the therapist a really long time to really get what was going on, or they never got to it at all. Like, it took 6 months to finally get somewhere. I hear that all the time because sessions, unfortunately, in this structure and model, you go there for 50 minutes or an hour and then you get cut off and then the little music starts to play. And then they say, okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. How about next Thursday at 3? Does that work for you again? And you're thinking, sure, why not? And you feel like you know more than the therapist does. And they're just sitting there going, and taking notes about you. And you're like, what are you writing down about me? And you spend the entire time talking about like what's happening with other people in your life. And maybe the therapist says, well, here's a book on codependency by Melody Beattie. It's a great book. You should go home and read it. And there's a couple exercises in there. I recommend you do those too. And just come back next week. Okay. So no wonder you have this thought and this belief. I used to have it as well. And you're feeling confused about it all, wondering, WTH, where did this all go wrong? Why didn't I see this, right? Why is this my life now? I'm going to therapy and if I could have just seen the red flags in the beginning, maybe I wouldn't have to be wasting my time doing all this right now, feeling so messed up. And you're probably still trying to figure it all out because you're still hurting, you're still in pain, and you have done everything to try and not hurt or not be in pain. And after you leave that session, you still dwell, your mind still ruminates on the past, you still have a really difficult time sleeping, you still do those self-sabotaging behaviors that you hate, that maybe drinking yourself to sleep or eating really bad food, skipping your workouts, whatever it is, all those things you tell yourself, man, I should just do this and then I'd be happy. So thinking I'm never going to get to that place, still feeling confused, still feeling conflicted, still feeling like your mind is just like dark and heavy, that brain fog, because you're still going around and around and around in your own head, all the while still trying to get on with your life. You still have to go to work. You still have to take care of the kids if you have them. You still have to like get through each day. So, I mean, let me ask you, how far are you going to go forward if you're still tied, connected, and tethered to the past? If that cord is still there, how far are you really going to be able to go forward? So no wonder it feels like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. You're still feeling connected and tied and tethered to the past. So you're really not going to be able to make that much progress forward. And no wonder you believe it takes years to heal, because this is what you've experienced. So you dive into thinking that you need to understand. I hear this all the time with clients who first connect with me. I just feel like I just need to understand it all. I need to understand narcissistic abuse. I really need to read all the books on narcissistic abuse. I've watched all the videos. I need to understand trauma. I need to be trauma informed. I need to read it all, know it all. And maybe I just need to go to school for psychology. No wonder you think it takes a long time to heal. I mean, think about it. School takes a long time to get through. And you think you need to understand it all in order to heal from it all. So with your life the way it is now, let me ask you, where are you going to fit in all that new learning? You've already got a crazy and busy life. Where are you going to fit in all of this extra learning that you believe that you need in order to heal? Good question. Yeah, I know. It's one that everyone I connect with has. So understand that you don't need to fit all of that understanding in. You just want freedom from it. Comment below. Yes, I want freedom. I'm ready for freedom. These are testimonials of people that I have worked with who now have that freedom and are in an incredibly beautiful place in their life. This lady on the left, you were going to go on this incredible divine journey of healing your inner self and really connecting with that inner child or that inner self who received and went through and experienced all that pain that the adult self was still holding on to, and get to that place where you can reframe and love yourself for what may feel like the first time ever. Forever changed is what this client on the left says. She finally feels safe and she feels relieved and she's forever changed. Only regret, not connecting sooner. This actually was, I'm filming this end of January from just about a week ago. You will receive one of these feedback surveys after our sessions. And this is what this client said. I've never experienced permanent results so quickly as I have with working with Sarah. And mind you, this is a client that I worked one-to-one with. We will get into those options later. As you remember that number 3,000, this is a client that I worked one-to-one with. She had done all that stuff. She'd done everything else. She had tried all the self-help techniques and was still not happy with her work, was still not happy with her husband, was still not happy with her life. And trust me, she told me about her husband. She has an incredible, supportive, and loving husband, but she still wasn't happy with him or with their relationship. So our techniques and our work together brought up core feelings that she didn't know she had. And that's exactly it, because they were stored in her unconscious mind. Unconscious, you're blocked off from them. You can't access or get to them by yourself. That's my job. And that's absolutely what I love to do, is to guide you to that place where you can connect with them, release them, and be free from them. And so she says today she loves her work, she loves her husband and her life. Her only regret is not finding me sooner. But I always say sooner rather than later. So stay committed to yourself, stay committed to this journey, and stay committed to this webinar and seeing it through to the end as you remember that number 3,000. This is more testimonials from other people that I've worked with. Someone who said that they were holding on to anger, onto bitterness, onto resentment. They never understood why they attracted such damaged and needy and angry partners. And she was able to look at her own anger, her own neediness, and her own damaged heart. She learned to love herself and her inner child. It was like painting a huge, beautiful canvas. When she went through my course, she was able to sit with what persists and feel what she needed to feel until it no longer needed to be felt. And through that, this divine practice of letting go of her bitterness and anger and tend to that damaged heart, her damaged heart, and love herself and reparent herself. And now she says the possibilities are endless. And she's telling you, put your own mask on, put your own oxygen mask on first, just like they tell you to do in an airplane. And she's absolutely right. You are worth it. And that's why you're here, because you want to not only know that you're worth it, but feel that you're worth it. This client on the right says, although I've been through extremely difficult things in the last 2 months, and trust me, she had like incredibly devastating things, she wouldn't be standing if it wasn't for me. And I don't share this to boast. She committed to herself to do this inner work and to invest in herself with my program and with doing the one-to-one work together. And through that, she says, every aspect of my life has changed. I see life differently. I'm not helpless. I'm not hopeless. I'm not a victim. I don't live every day just waiting for it to end. I look forward to the rest of my life now. And that is what I want for you. I want to receive the same messages from you. I want you to look forward to the rest of your life. And so, how do we do that? People always ask me, well, Sarah, I don't believe it. How can you heal that quickly? Because you can. I mean, go ahead if you want to. You can spend years and years studying and learning about how, and you can get into the psychology of it, or you can just be ready and choose to be ready and invest in yourself to live an incredibly divine life by just experiencing the transformation, experiencing breakthrough, experiencing change, not learning about how. So that's what I've done. And you don't need to spend that same time. You just are ready to experience it. So you don't need to become more trauma informed or know more about narcissistic abuse. People say, I just don't understand how they can be so cold and be so, well, they're narcissists and you can't change them. So if you have a choice, are you going to spend your time wondering and learning about them, or transforming and healing yourself? Because either way you look at it, that's time, energy that you're investing. Are you going to invest it in them, the people who abused you, or in you and healing yourself? So what do you really want? You have to ask yourself that. What do I really want? Because that's all we've got is time, energy, and investment. So we can continue to invest it in those who don't reciprocate it and who've hurt us and damaged us, or we can invest it in healing ourselves, right? So ask yourself that question and understand when you're asking yourself that question that the only person you can change or fix is you. And when you heal you, when you change you, when you transform you, you are no longer affected or influenced by them. And I hope if you're still here at this point, you realize that, you accept that, you acknowledge that, and you're ready to move forward into that space of healing you. And unfortunately, in this space, so many people make it so much harder than it needs to be. Most therapists, most counselors, or most life coaches, or whoever you're seeing, they just want to give you advice and they want to tell you what you should do. Like, listen to me, I'm the expert. Just follow these steps, X, Y, Z, read this, do that, and then you'll heal. And I question that, because aren't you the expert of you? What makes a complete stranger the expert of you? That's what I want to know, because they have not walked in your shoes. They have not lived your life, and they don't feel or experience what you do. You can tell them about it, but they're not you. You are the expert of you. And that's why this is so different. This transformation and this journey is about you healing you. I'm not the expert of you. You are. I help you remove the inner unconscious blocks so that you can heal you, those things that are preventing you from healing you, but you're the expert. So listening to them and trying to figure out you is a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. So no wonder it hasn't worked. And it has just left you feeling like you're going around and around and around, like I said earlier, on a hamster wheel or a roller coaster, and you're getting nowhere, and you're sick and tired of that. And I completely get it. That's the road that I went down for far too long. And you're here because you're ready to go down a brand new road. So if you're sick and tired of people wanting to just put you in a box and label you and stick you on a shelf. Trust me, I've heard that from so many clients. My therapist just told me to put it in a box and stick it on a shelf. And I cringed when I heard that. It was like nails on a chalkboard, because what they've done is dismissed you. And they've made you feel like you were going to live with that label or that diagnosis forever, and connected and attached that phrase, it is what it is. And you were forced to, expected to just accept that. Well, that's complete BS. And I bet that you are here because there's something inside of you that is fighting against that, is not going to accept that, and is screaming at you going, no, that's not okay. That is not the way that life is. And I'm going to applaud and cheer and honor you, because I've been there too. And I know how bad that hurts. And you're ready to break out of that box. You're ready to get off the shelf. You're ready to rip that label off. And you're frustrated because those people that you've gone to in the past, or those things that you've done in the past, never really got to the core. They never got to the root of it. They stayed on the surface, or they talked about the issues, they talked about the symptoms, or maybe you were there because you're like, I just need to let this go, but I don't know how to let this go. And they've told you, well, you let it go by just trusting your instincts, or say, you really don't need to go there. I had one past client tell me that someone he was working with in the past, just after like 3 or 4 months, said, you just need to open up your third eye. And he went, what? What are you talking about? So sometimes you just get this unsolicited advice and it doesn't work. And all advice, I think, is trying to be nice. I think that's why they rhyme. But you probably feel like, okay, great. How? I don't know how. That's why I'm here. And generally, when advice is given, it's because they don't know, they get uncomfortable, or they're unable. They truly don't know how to help you. So they send you on your way and they say, well, just find out what you love. What are your interests? What are your passions? Just go do that. You like painting? Just start painting and have painting be your therapy. Anytime you feel an anxiety attack come on, just pull out your paintbrushes and start stroking. And you're thinking, that's the last thing I'm thinking of in the middle of a panic attack. Or just distract yourself and just move on, right? Just breathe into a bag. And you're thinking, well, I need to get to what it is that's causing me to have to need to breathe into a bag. That's what we're here. So you've probably tried lots of things. I want to honor that. I want to tell you that I understand that. You probably tried talk therapy. You've tried traditional counseling, life coaching. You've probably done EMDR. Maybe you've done 12-step programs. Perhaps you've tried brain spotting, DBT programs. Maybe you're a big journaler or meditator. Maybe you listen to binaural beats to sleep at night. You've probably tried other online self-help programs or healing from abuse programs. And chances are those just sat on your desktop taking up space or partially completed. And all they really did was educate you on the psychology of trauma or the psychology of narcissism, but they didn't actually help you heal from it. That is what makes this so different. We're not learning about narcissism. We are healing from our inner wounds that they caused. So when you've done all those things, it maybe feels like it made things worse, like it didn't work at all. Maybe it made you feel better for a little bit and then the problems came back. Or now you know a lot about narcissistic abuse. You know a ton about codependency. You can recite the definition for trauma bond with your eyes closed, but it doesn't stop the obsessive, compulsive thoughts in your head that never seem to turn off. Am I right? I'm laughing because I think I am. So comment below. Oh my gosh, what have you done? Please don't badge anyone, or any programs or anything like that. But comment below if you have been there, you've tried those things, and you're ready. Comment, I'm ready for breakthrough. I'm ready for something different. Because if you have gone through all of that, it's causing you to still feel trapped, still feel stuck, still feel isolated and alone. You still probably pull away from people because you're afraid. You're still stuck in fear. You're stuck in isolation. You sabotage yourself because you're now frustrated that one more thing didn't work and now you're feeling worse. Or you have to do this constant, oh my gosh, the only time I feel good is when I'm meditating, but I have a life to live. I can't just meditate all day, every day. So you still feel panicked. You still feel anxious, overwhelmed. You still feel depleted and exhausted. You still have an inner sense of unworthiness that literally words cannot describe, even if you tried, but you feel it. And you feel like a prisoner of your own mind. You still mentally beat yourself up. You still feel so shut down, like someone flipped the off switch inside of you. You still have massive guilt over everything, even things that weren't your fault or had nothing to do with you. You still procrastinate and delay and put things off. You still numb out, whether it's just using social media, whether it's using food, sex, drugs, relationships, alcohol. You still disassociate. You still blame yourself for everything going wrong, even those things that you had nothing to do with. And you're tired of it. You're tired of over apologizing. Sorry is your default word. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you probably talk to yourself and go, why am I saying sorry? I had nothing to do with that. I didn't do anything wrong. But you still feel those words flying out of your mouth. I'm sorry. You still don't take care of yourself the way that you should. Even though you know what to do, even though you know, okay, I need to wake up early, I need to set my alarm, I need to put my shoes by the bed or by the door so that I'll go to the gym. You still don't go to the gym. You still don't eat healthy. You just still don't take care of yourself because you still feel empty inside. Perhaps you have autoimmune disorders that flare up because of stress, and they cause physical distress, physical pain in your body. And you can't stop beating yourself up, even though you know you shouldn't beat yourself up. So you beat yourself up because you can't stop beating yourself up. Is this resonating, you guys? Please leave comments below if this is connecting with you, if you feel like this is you, and get excited because it doesn't have to be you. It's not going to be you for much longer, as long as you stay through to the end of this. If you still feel like you have brain frog, there's brain frog. If you have brain frog and you feel like your head is endlessly spinning and you stuff your emotions, perhaps you hide it. Maybe you drink or eat bad things for you in secret. You're a closet chocolate eater. That used to be me. Maybe you feel alienated. You feel completely lost in life, like you're wandering around and your GPS is turned off and your Wi-Fi is turned off. You're disconnected from everyone and everything else, from your true, genuine, authentic self. And it feels so easy to help others, all those other people who come to you and dump all their problems on you. It's so easy to help them, but it's impossible to help yourself. So if that's where you're at, I'm glad you're here. So here are 3 things that I never hear people say or think about. And to me, these are the only things that matter. That this does not have to be a lifelong process. You can quickly learn to easily untrap and free yourself. So that's what trauma is. In fact, that's one of the simplest definitions of trauma. Trauma is trapped information. And you are here and I am here because we are going to go on a journey of breaking those patterns and reprogram that toxic, negative, damaging internal dialogue that you have now that's keeping you trapped in this life that you are living now. And we're going to use the very thing that created those problems and the symptoms, because that's what you're experiencing in the first place. We're going to use your mind, body, heart, and soul. We're going to get rid of the problem at the very place it's stored. So I want you to think just for a second about a house. Probably you're thinking, what, Sarah? How can a house and a tree be related to my issues? So if you think about a house, in order for a beautiful house like this to be standing, it needs a firm, steady, solid foundation. You don't have this beautiful house that's built on this without first having a solid, stable, steady foundation. And if your house or your body is like a house, you may look like a house on the outside, but inside there's cracks, shifting, things are falling apart. But on the outside, you look nice and pretty, but on the inside, that foundation is crumbling. So our job is to rebuild you from the ground up, to heal from the inside out. That is what this program and working together one-to-one is going to do for you, so that we reset, we re-pour an incredibly solid, steady, firm foundation, so that you can be just as beautiful as this house is, that you can build, and the structures that are built on top of that are built to last. And if you think about a tree, I wanted you to think about a tree because a tree has roots, and those roots run deep, especially this tree. So oftentimes what happens when you're experiencing pain is you try and cut it off from the ground up. But if you do that, it may appear to go away for a time, but the roots run deep. And the problem with that is that if you don't get to it at the root or the core, then it will come back. That's why all those problems come back, they return, because you're not getting to at the core and the root. So get ready and get excited, because we are going to get to the core and the root of your problem and rip those out so that it never comes back. We're not just going to trim or cut off a couple leaves or branches. We're going straight to the source, straight to the core, and straight to the root of the problems and the belief systems that you have that are keeping these problems in place and in your life today, and get rid of them, pull those suckers out, remove them, release them. So, another good one. That thing that happened to you, it's all in the past, right? You hear that all the time. Oh, that's in the past. Just let it go. Doesn't matter anymore. Is it really in the past? So logically versus emotionally. So thinking of something that made you really sick before. Okay. I want you to think of something that made you really sick. I can remember a time I was like really, really sick on hurricanes. Everclear, drinking a lot. I drank a lot to numb my pain when I was growing up. I started drinking way too early, started getting into sexual relationships way too early. But so think about that thing that's made you super sick before. Maybe it was a food, maybe it was a drink, like my hurricanes. Even literally saying the word hurricane now, I can like taste the fruit punch Everclear in my mouth, and it makes me go, ooh. Right? But logically, I can know that was in the past. I'm not sitting here drinking a hurricane right now, but every time your mind gets triggered, it reacts, it gets that feeling because it connects to a time in the past when you felt that same way, because the mind likes what's familiar. The mind goes, okay, think about a hurricane. Oh my gosh, like get that away from me. And I feel this sense of like, get that away from me, because I don't want to go back there, but it's familiar. I know that familiar sick feeling. I know that if I engage in that again, it's going to make me sick. But that's how connections and safety feel, right? It's scary if it's unknown. So it's safe if it's known, and you may have gotten a little lost there. So let me explain that a little bit more. But there's a connection to that. In the example of the hurricane, there's a connection to knowing that I will get sick if I drink those again. And those connections make me feel safe because I know I'm going to get sick if I drink those again. To keep myself safe, I'm not going to drink them again. So even though it was an unpleasant experience, I now have a connection to knowing that that's unhealthy for me and a safety knowing to stay away from it. But that sometimes can be really, really scary, that unknown. So if we grew up in an emotionally unavailable or emotionally abusive relationship, or we've had a number or series of toxic and narcissistic relationships, we know what that's like. And it's like this little protective bubble of, I know what it's like. And it feels really, really good to know because then I can predict what's going to happen. If I step outside that bubble, I don't know what to expect. And not knowing what to expect can be very, very, very scary because it's unknown. Most people would say they fear the unknown, and the unknown is feeling loved, feeling whole, feeling a sense of inner peace, feeling healthy connections, feeling safe is often unknown and can be really scary. So we want to transfer that and heal that so that feeling safe is what you know. And feeling afraid is unknown because you've lived your life in this space of feeling safe, feeling unknown. Hope I didn't lose you there. But I think you probably get what I mean because you've experienced that. So if what you know is connecting with things that make you feel and believe, I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me, this will never change, then we've got to change that. You no longer want to be connected with things that make you feel and believe that you're not good enough. So we want to make the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar. That's true transformation. That's true breakthrough. So you burst the bubble of feeling safe, being afraid. And most people, like I said, they just want to put a label on you when they can't get you to that place. They want to have you take a pill or read a book. All that's going to do is either mask it or have you know more about it, but not have you not experience it anymore. So if the other things you've already tried, if they've untrapped that trauma that you have stuck in you, you'd be loving your life right now. But you're probably here because they haven't worked and you're not loving your life right now. So here's how we're going to actually get you to that place where you do love your life. You're going to go through this program, the Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program. And perhaps you're also going to do the one-to-one sessions that really exponentially ignite your breakthrough and transformation. And as you go through the program, the Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, we're going to go through it in different parts. In part 1, we are going to break distorted thinking patterns. You're going to engage in powerful, simple, and fun daily exercises because you get to know yourself at a really powerful and deep level where you identify and change your internal thought patterns. You reprogram your inner mind. You have that combined with groundbreaking therapy and rapid transformational healing sessions and science and spirituality to all come together for a full transformation. And within the group, the collective safe group, that's where you're taking advantage, excuse me, of the power of collective healing, because we've all gone through this in the past. We're all growing and healing together. The second part of the program will take you on a deep dive into healing the inner wounds, healing your inner self, healing your inner child, identify and connect with the core roots and blocks, and allow you that inner shift, that release, and that powerful change. It'll take you on a deep journey of self-discovery and self-inquiry, and gracefully give yourself what you need, what you needed when that you didn't get when you needed it the most. And then the third part is taking it to the next level, reestablishing, repatterning, reparenting, and removing and replacing, returning and refocusing, and staying and remaining in those high vibrational frequencies and potencies. So this is what a past client shared. I want to share messages that we had exchanged back and forth. She was in a very emotionally abusive relationship with a narcissist and actually going through court with him. And she shares that her anxiety goes away within minutes now, instead of what she said, it used to take days or weeks. And this was while she was going to court. And she was so confident that she felt like she's been on this extreme high since our last session. Her anxiety goes away with minutes. She's full of confidence. And this client says that she feels the confidence in her voice when she speaks up and uses her voice now, and notices the difference in her body and her relationships. More clients that I've worked with are now in beautiful, healthy, loving relationships now. This is, I can't promise this, but this is after a year or two of working together. They found themselves in loving, healthy relationships, engaged to people who just are their partners for life now. Not that they complete them, because all these clients are beautiful and they're whole and complete themselves. And because they feel whole and complete, have been able to love themselves on a whole new level, have attracted other people who love them as much as they love themselves now. So again, to go back to this, why you're still in pain, because you believe these things. You believe it takes years and years and years and forever to heal. You think that this won't work, that you've tried everything. And you think, well, that's great, but that's not me, that's them. So you're probably wondering, how is this different, Sarah? That's just another program. I've tried everything else. No, you haven't, because you haven't done this. So you probably have, however, wasted a lot of time and money doing different things that did promise change. And if what you had done in the past had worked, you wouldn't be here. And I'm so glad that you are, because this is incredibly, vastly different. So together, you're going to heal from the inside out, because you're not relying on something out there. This is an incredibly powerful transformation that has you heal from the inside out. So all those other things that you have done and tried just worked with the symptoms. They worked with the external, they worked with anxiety, they worked with stress, etc. Or they gave you advice on what to do in particular situations. They didn't get to the core or the root of what caused those symptoms. That is part of what makes this incredibly different. You see, your conscious mind locks you off from the problem because it's trying to keep you away from the pain of that experience. It never, ever wants you to experience that pain ever again. And there are other programs out there that categorize and generalize those, and they don't work with your inner mind. That's the biggest difference. So how is this different? Because we're working with both your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. The way the program is designed is to have you connect to the core and the root of what the problems are, not just address the symptoms of them, and then give you conscious exercises to help you when you're experiencing those symptoms, all while reprogramming and rewiring what it is that causes those symptoms. So the other things you've tried have had targeted and isolated symptoms, and what you say, what you think it is, but it's actually not what it truly and really is. So I want you to think of this example. Like if you have an infection in your mouth and you go to the dentist, and you say, hey, my tooth is hurting, right? The tooth hurting is the symptom. And he pokes and prods and touches it and goes, okay, how does this feel? And you're like, ow, it hurts. Okay, how does that feel? Ow, it hurts. And he says, okay, well, take this numbing cream and put it on and it'll stop hurting. But what you've really got is an infection, is this nasty infection. Maybe you've got an exposed nerve, and maybe that tooth needs extraction and it needs replacement. It needs to be ripped out and removed. And all the dentist is doing is putting a cream on it, because he's not actually getting to the core and the root of what's causing that infection. You're just saying, my tooth hurts. And he's like, oh, we'll put this cream on and it'll stop hurting. But what's causing the hurt, what's causing the pain is still there. That's the analogy that describes what other things you've tried and the difference in this program. And that's the difference between working with the conscious part of your mind and the inner mind, or the unconscious or subconscious. They're all synonyms. So take a look at this little iceberg on the right. We're working below the surface. We're working at the bigger part of what's causing all the pain that you're in today. Yes, we're doing conscious work as well, but the bulk and the majority of this transformation is going to take place below the surface, just like that tree. We're getting to the core and the root of it below the surface. And most programs work on the top, on the surface level of what you can see. That's why this is so different. And that's why you're going to get such incredible and powerful results. So drop a comment below. I'm ready. Let's do this if you're ready to do this. So again, more clients that I've worked with in the past, updates. I love hearing stories about the incredible changes and transformations that take place after working together. This was an improvement update. Sarah, is the first day I've been able to do anything focused or creative in a long time. My brain fog is less. I'm able to squeak out a few hopeful and positive thoughts. And this was just after a session. So sometimes you experience immediate change. Sometimes it's more just as the days and weeks go on. But she says the fact that there's been a positive improvement when nothing else has worked for me, I'm in tears of gratitude for you. And the client on the right says, I am in total peace. She had someone really close to her, someone who was an ex-abuser, die and pass away during our work together. And she says, this may sound cold, but I truly am at peace. And I'm going to cry now. Thank you. And this is all because of you, but because of her willingness. So it's because of her willingness to invest in herself and because of her commitment and the work that we were doing together. So when you are ready for that, when you're ready to have results like these, to have eye-opening results, to completely transform and change, and to turn a corner on a path to healing and at peace with who you are, to get free from those stuck points in your life and move through them with positivity, with grace. These are from clients that I did one-to-one work with in conjunction with the program. So whatever way works for you, we're going to get to what that looks like in a second. But actually getting to that place of inner peace where you can work through anything, just like the client on the right says. So to put it simply, it doesn't really matter where we start. It doesn't matter if you think, oh my gosh, I've got so many problems, I don't know where to start. These diagrams are to show that everything is connected and related. So it's kind of like dominoes, whether we knock down the first one or whether we knock down the one on the end, they're all going to fall down. They're all going to, because they're all connected, they're all related. So it doesn't matter if we start like in this diagram on the left where there's a little topic, because it leads to that and that leads to that and that leads to that and that leads to that. So it doesn't really matter what you feel like your biggest problem is. And that's part of the problem, is that people think I've got so many problems. And this is why you can get such incredibly powerful and fast results, because they're all connected. They're all related. They're all a part of you. So it doesn't matter where we start. They're all going to be knocked over and they're all going to be knocked out. And the possibilities for you after you go through this transformation are going to be endless. So it's incredibly empowering to see that other people have done this work and gone before you. And you also can get to that place where you feel completely relaxed and love your life, just like these two clients. Some more beautiful testimonials of what this transformation has been like. This is not a weight loss program, but oftentimes we put on weight because we feel unsafe, and weight is a protective barrier. If we feel like we have extra weight, then we'll be unattractive to the opposite sex, and then they can't hurt us. So if you've been abused, for example, by the men in your life, you don't want to be attractive to men. So your body will naturally put on weight so that you're unattractive to them and they don't come after you or pursue you. And if they don't do that, then you can't get hurt. So I know that sounds crazy and irrational, but that's the logic that your mind has when you've gone through that type of abuse. This client on the right says she's a completely different person than she was months ago. Her relationship with her kids is a lot better. She's back in church. Her faith is strong. She talks to friends for hours on end. And this is a woman who self-isolated and started to not show up and not go out with her friendships anymore. She did a complete makeover on herself by cutting her hair, getting highlights, new clothes. She's got mirrors everywhere, and she loves the person that she's seeing in the mirror now, because now she loves herself and now she knows her worth and her value. Everything in her life is completely different. She loves who she's seeing now, and her life has done a complete turnaround. And that's the life I want for you too. So I'm glad that you're here, because if you're here, you're not just healing from narcissistic abuse, you are doing all of these things as well. You're getting rid of limiting beliefs. You're stopping those ruminating negative thoughts dead in their tracks. You're living with a clear, focused, calm mind. You're living in the present moment. There's no more, wait, what was that? Sorry. That's gone. Those are the days of the past, because you're free, you're clear, you believe in yourself, you trust in yourself, your confidence soars. You have a loving, healthy relationship with yourself, and that radiates out and impacts the relationship you have with other people, because you completely and deeply love yourself. So again, this is not just to help you heal from narcissistic abuse. This is to help you set firm boundaries and cultivate such an incredibly strong sense of self-worth, so that you don't take on other people's problems. You don't make other people's problems yours, and you don't feel guilty or bitchy about it. And you can tap into your full potential. You can get to that healthy, ideal weight if that's one of your goals. You feel connected, you feel satisfied, you feel incredibly present, purpose-filled, aligned, happiness. You don't compromise yourself anymore, and you can sleep through the night peacefully, easily. And maybe this leads to you improving your career or your income, because when you know your self-worth, you are unafraid to speak up. You are unafraid to own it. And that may lead to you doing things you've always dreamed of doing, but have never done before. I'm going to share with you a testimonial in just a second of a client who's done that. And it allows you to feel normal, allows you to be happy. You don't need to try to be happy. You just are happy. And you stop living this fake pretend life. You stop living and hiding behind your own mask, which you probably know about the narcissists, they do, but you were doing it too. And you don't need to do that anymore. So what I've set up is a proven system to follow, a system that when you follow, you can't get lost in, and you very quickly and easily get the results that you're looking for. And the beautiful thing is all roads lead to Rome. So if you're here because you want to lose weight, well, guess what? All roads lead to Rome. We get to you loving yourself and feeling confident in yourself and trusting yourself and tuning into that intuition. Then you get to lose the weight. If you're here because you can't sleep, because of all you do is think about all the craziness that happened in your life and the nightmares that keep you up at night in your mind that can't turn off. Well, guess what? That's all roads lead to Rome. We start with that, and you're going to notice that you get all the results that you want along the way. And it doesn't matter where we started. It doesn't matter how we get there. You just follow the system, you go through the steps, and you'll find that you get to that center point. That center point is you loving, trusting, believing in yourself, and having all those things that you deserve and desire in life. That's the very core and the very center. So know that it doesn't matter what the biggest thing that you want to focus on or change in your life is. Everything will change beautifully when you just invest in yourself. So again, why you're still in pain is because you think and believe these 3 key things. And if you stay with this, you don't have to anymore, I can assure you. And so with those testimonials that I've shared from other clients that I've worked with and taken through this journey and this transformation, you might be thinking this, well, yeah, Sarah, that's great for them, but I'm too messed up. Can this really work for me? I've got so many problems. I've got such big problems. I've had these problems for years. Actually, I've had these problems for decades, for 20, for 30 years. The abusers, my parents, I still have to see them. I can't go into contact with them, so I can't heal. Normally the greatest problem is fear. Know that. We talked about that before. Fear of the unknown. You've gotten so used to your problems, like they've sadly become your best friend, and you almost can't imagine your life without them. Kind of sad, I know, but I was there too. And so you listened to and heard me talk about the results that other people have gotten, and you've heard their success stories, but you probably feel like I just can't relate. That's good for them, but I I'm too messed up. And so when that happens, you mentally separate from their successes and believe that their successes can't be yours, but it can, because those people thought the same thing. So you might be finding your mind right now going into excuse overdrive and thinking, well, I wonder when she gets to the price, how much this is going to cost. You know, I don't have time. I'm so busy right now. I do want to go back to school because I want to get a better job. So if I start going back to school, I'm going to have class, and then I have my kids, and then I have my family. And when am I going to eat and sleep and work out? She's right. I need to start working out again. So your mind might be going into excuse overdrive right now and thinking, I'm so bad. What was I thinking? Why am I still watching this? This is so stupid. I'm fine. You know what? I'm good. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling a lot better. I'm already feeling a lot better. So that's your mind in excuse overdrive. And this is a cycle that you stay stuck in. And that's what this diagram shows. And that's why you're still in pain. This cycle, although you hate it, you love it. You love it because it's familiar, and the mind likes what's familiar and will avoid what's unfamiliar. And I'm asking you to imagine that you can transform and break through quickly. And that's so unfamiliar to you. You're thinking, what? The what? No. Mm-mm. So this cycle protects you because it's familiar, and that out there, that happy life, that thriving life, that life where you're free from all this emotional baggage and pain is scary because you haven't lived it. You haven't experienced it yet. And so this thought loop and this pattern will keep you stuck in the pain, because it'll say, no, it's fine. It's fine. You really don't want to do that. That is going to be a lot of work. And that's outside that loop thought, that circle. That's outside that. And your mind is designed to protect you and keep you safe and pull you in and reel you in. So this is what you may be thinking. Then this is why you're stuck in this cycle, but you want to break out of it because you want to be like them. You want to be like those testimonials and the people that I've worked with, that I've showed you what their lives are like now. But for them, oh, it just seems so easy. For me, it's going to be different. It's going to be so hard. It won't work for me the same way it did for them. So that is what your mind is trying to get you to do, and know that it's doing its job. It's trying to protect you and keep you safe, and trying to keep you in that space of what is familiar, and stepping outside of that, breaking out of that will be unfamiliar until it's not. Just like walking was unfamiliar until it became something that you do and you don't have to think about doing it anymore. When you were a little baby and learning to walk, you fell down a lot. And now, I mean, you may fall down from time to time, but you get right back up and you don't even think about walking. You do it without thinking about it. So let me see if I can play this.
Hi, my name is Adil Saeed. I went to Cerebral Carl for a very intense issue that had been weighing on me for a very long time, and I went there with no expectations. But after 2 hours, I felt like a completely different person. I was shocked because it's one of those issues that you feel that will always be with you. You can change a lot of other things in your life, but this particular issue, you just feel like, no, you know what, this is here to stay. And oh my God, she was so good at what she did. Now, I think there's a few reasons that I need to point out why she's so good at what she does. Number one, she's a great person. She's very nice. She's a nice person. She's very patient. And the best part is that she has this whole repertoire of like stories and analogies, and she innately knew when to insert them into the session for them to stick and for them to make sense. Because oh my God, I'm not sure if she did that intentionally, but like maybe it was subconsciously she did that. But they stuck with me. And the biggest test is that would they stick long term? And that usually you can tell the next day because when you wake up, old feelings seem to start creeping back. So I woke up the next day and I was still feeling free. I'm like, oh my God, I like this. So yeah, guys, whatever your issue is, I know she has a niche. It's for people who have been in relationships with narcissistic people, and it's to help them. But this was a completely unrelated issue, and she did so well with me. So I highly recommend Sarah Bacaro.
Thank you, thank you. And his testimonial can be seen on my website as well. Here is another one I want you to take a quick listen to.
I want to make a quick video to say a big thank you to Sarah Bacaro. I had a therapy session with her, and initially I went in feeling so confused. I went in feeling so detached from myself, very anxious, very stressed, very confused, and Sarah just really helped me. She held space for me. She helped me understand and reconnect with myself, and I feel so much stronger. I feel like the confusion is completely gone. I just feel so much better as a result of working with her, and I want to thank Sarah, and I can't recommend her enough. She's an amazing therapist. She's great, and she's so compassionate, so understanding, so empathetic, and again, I can't thank you enough, Sarah, so thank you.
And here is a client in the center. She left a 25-year nursing career, ended a toxic relationship. Her and I worked together. We did one-on-one sessions, and she went through the program. And through that, she started her own business. She did that thing she'd always dreamed of and desired to do, but never had the courage or the belief or the trust in herself to do. And she did it. And she's absolutely loving her new life now. Another client on the right that says she was able to reshift and go back to that love for herself, that working together changed her life. There are good new people in her life now because she now loves herself enough to put herself in that space and completely break free from all that toxicity. She said the first few weeks completely changed her life. She's never been so comfortable in her own skin. Here is another testimonial from a beautifully divine client who says, you're saving lives every day. I can't tell you how grateful I am for you. Thank God she listened to her intuition that day for the first time ever. And here's another client. I'm going to have you listen to what she said on one of our sessions.
The way that I parent and the way that I go about my day, and even the way that I fall asleep at night, I fall asleep a lot easier at night. Like my brain is shutting up, which is very rare. And it's like, even at work, like I feel like I'm a better manager. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm more present, and I'm really more recognizing that if someone's having an issue, I don't have to jump in and fix because it has nothing to do with me. But I can kind of hear what they're doing, try and give some recommendations or ask them questions to kind of get them to how they really feel about it or what they really know they need to do next, you know? It's just, I don't know, it's just really amazing, you know? Yeah. It's like, I don't carry it with me. I don't jump at the phone and then I can't, fine. And it's just like, if I have to interact with him, like, if he could help with my food, but like, if I interact with him, I have this like whole new field that's like not a cold one. It's just like, oh no, you don't get to come in my bubble, not even mentally. Like I can be pleasant to you and not give a fuck about who you are, you know? And I'm still being genuine to myself. You know? Yeah. I'm so excited. I can't even.
I love getting messages like that. So some of the things she said, she falls asleep easier, her brain shuts up, she parents differently, she's more present, more aware, she's a manager in her position, she's a better manager, a better listener, she doesn't care about her ex, she has to co-parent with the ex, and she just doesn't carry his garbage with her anymore. So again, to highlight the reason why you're still suffering and struggling to get through each day and find it so difficult to truly love yourself is because of those beliefs, because you believe it takes a long time to heal. You think you've tried everything and it's nothing's worked and you're just destined to live this way. And you think you've got too many problems or that you've had them too long and are probably thinking, why even bother? It's going to be so much work to fix. But if you truly believed that, you wouldn't be here. And you're here because you are different. You do know and believe inside of you that there's something more and that healing is possible. You just haven't got it yet. So I like these pictures of the cell phone. Like this is you on the left. You are a cell phone. but you're old, you're outdated, you're limited on what you can do, and you will still be a cell phone after we work together, but you will be one that is so much more powerful that you are tuned in, you're connected to the network, you can do anything. At the time of this recording, this is the iPhone 13, so the latest and greatest. So it's basically like getting an upgrade from being the old school flip phone to the latest and greatest. So that's what you can look forward to experiencing working together. This lady says, after 3 years of not wanting to live, Terry says, this lady, I apologize, that was rude, says she has her life back now. This works. I promise. Make the leap. And Heather on the right, one of my clients, says, I couldn't agree more. These first few weeks completely changed her life. I think we just looked at her testimonial as well. Another one that says, I'm speechless, Sarah. I hardly have the words to describe how I feel. And this is probably you, and maybe you right now, even though you've made it to this point. I'm going to be honest, I was extremely skeptical, but I couldn't go on living another day the way that I was living. In our first session, I was shocked at how quickly we got to the root cause and got rid of that emotional block that she'd been struggling with for years. I was astonished. I can honestly say that working with you is the best decision I've ever made. Transformational healing really is just that. So far, it's had a profound effect on every area of her life, and she's never ever going back. Remember the dominoes that I talked about? They're all problems are connected and related. All problems hold hands with other problems. So no matter where we start, because all roads lead to Rome, we get to a place where every area of your life is incredibly profoundly shifted, transformed, and changed. Judy over here says it was like flipping a switch for me. Literally went from feeling a sense of abuse and thoughts to her abuser to her. And just like that, her whole world changed. She's happy to be alive. And she cried. This is going to be emotional. We're healing emotional trauma and deeply rooted wounds, but she's got her life back now. She started her own business, and her kids and her friends benefit from the new her. She says, well, we all benefit from the new me except for him. So except from the abuser. No, leave them in the past. So again, why you're still in pain is because your mind is holding on to these beliefs, but I hope you're ready to transform and step into the space of letting go of all that and healing from the inside out. So with that said, let's just say it like it is. You've got two choices. You can ignore everything I've talked to you about today. You can ignore all these truths, and you can tell yourself, you know what? Nope, I'm going to ride the excuse train even further, even longer. I'm going to figure it out for myself. And maybe you're going to just waste more time of your life and more money trying to figure out how to do just that. Or maybe you can ride the excuse train and say, F it, I'm too messed up. I can't be helped. I know that Sarah said lots of great things, and so have other people, but I still don't believe it. Or you can just hope that time will heal all things, and you can lie to yourself and tell yourself that you'll do it later because you've got other stuff to focus on now. Or you can face this reality. You can commit to yourself and invest in yourself to break these bad habits. You can admit, I can't figure this out on my own. Sarah, I need your help. And you can begin to transform your life in a whole new way. And so if you have made it this far and you still remember that number 3,000, you're going to be 1,000 or 1,000,000% worth it to go all the way to completely invest in yourself to fully transform and heal. So today I'm going to be giving you two offers, and both are going to help you completely turn your life around so that you can join those hundreds of other clients that I've worked with, both one-to-one and through the program, to give themselves the gift of deep inner healing and transformation, that gift that impacts all areas of your life in the most incredible of ways. So again, you will be delighted to know that everything that you need is in this program. I've systemized everything, and all you've got to do is invest in yourself to follow the steps, go through this program. Like this lady says on the right, again, she's never experienced permanent results so quickly. Having worked with me, she did do one-on-one sessions with me and the program. And through the program, she's completely transformed and changed. She said she applied all the self-help techniques and prior was not happy still. So doing the one-on-one work completely transformed her. And she says, only regret not connecting sooner. So don't let that be your regret as well. So just an insight to the program, what it looks like, some of the activities and exercises. What you will get is full access to the program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, lifetime access, powerful transformation healing sessions. The ones inside the program are incredibly powerful. They are self-guided. They're not one-to-one. The one-to-one work is separate, but they include audios to reprogram and rewire your inner mind after removing the core and the root cause of your problems. They also include exercises throughout all 3 parts of the program to take you on an incredibly divine journey to healing those inner wounds and past pains and traumas. You also become a part of our incredibly supportive and safe online private community through Facebook, where we coach and mentor each other. I go live within the group once a week. We have group coaching calls and you have access to the past recordings as well. So you never ever have to worry about missing out on any of the calls. You have full access to those as well. So that is an insight into the program. More details about what you get in the program, all parts of it combined, like we said, the unconscious, remember that the iceberg, the unconscious and unconscious work. It's a combination of science, quantum physics, inner and outer work to transcend and transform your past pain to present power. So there's 3 parts to the program. This just highlights and goes into more detail about what you get into each part. Upgrading the toolbox is part 1, where we deeply dive into understanding your internal thought process, your internal dialogue, your patterns of thinking, because they're going to be different from everyone else's. So you get to analyze and dissect where your mind goes on a daily basis. And like we talked about the house before, lay the foundation of understanding it and that natural process that occurs within you on a daily basis and in different situations, especially when you're triggered, and transform that inner critical, negative, pessimistic voice to a powerful, excited inner cheerleader to transform your mind. And you get to, going through part 1, see and understand how those thoughts, even the negative, critical ones, are affecting you and influencing you and identifying how they're harming you, and then quickly, easily, and powerfully transform them. So each part has a, like I mentioned before, self-guided, rapid transformational therapy healing session. And this one in part 1 is to remove guilt, blame, shame, that guilt, blame, and shame that's preventing you from establishing healthy boundaries. So with that, you get a powerful recording to listen to each day. This one in part 1 is to allow you to flush out the mental garbage, the debris, the toxins from old hurts, old wounds, old emotional pains, baggage, and garbage, and establish deeply rooted healthy boundaries to live with freedom, to live with self-confidence, to live in a place where you absolutely love yourself and connect to your self-worth and self-trust. So through part 1 as well, you're going through powerful healing exercises, deepen your understanding, broadening and expanding the tools that you have to take back the power in your life in any situation. So every part includes a workbook and checklist to guide you through that you can print out, you can make a binder of, and really learning about yourself on a very, realistic level. You don't need to have a PhD in psychology to understand this stuff, but learning about how our mind works and how we're going to use it to set us free from any pain that you're in. There's really fun science-based experiments, energy experiments also throughout to prove to you the power of your thoughts, the power of your mind, and your ability. Like, it gives you real solid evidence and proof. That's what I love. I love this part of it, to give you the ability to prove to you how you can impact and influence the world, your inner world, your outer world, and the world of others around you. So just a deeper insight into part 2 of the program. That's what is called Healing from Deep Within. This is the deep inner self work, connecting with your inner self, your inner child, and really getting to that inner place of healing from those things that have been holding you back in life and tuning into the frequency of your heart. So part 1 focuses quite deeply on the mind. Part 2 focuses on the frequency and the healing capacity of your heart. In quantum physics, they say that the heart waves, vibrations, and frequencies are 5,000 times stronger than the mind. So you have an incredibly powerful, deep heart healing transformational therapy session, and that will knock down the walls that we built up around our heart to protect it from being hurt again. Those walls that were created from past traumas, from abandonments, from rejection, from betrayal, and heal all of those and remove those energetic blocks that are preventing you from receiving unconditional love, happiness, and abundance. So we're doing that at the cellular level. And again, listening to that powerful recording that will restore and heal the heartache and the heartbreak that you've gone through in the past, and allow your heart to hold love for yourself and for your life. So through that, everything changes. And again, you have powerful daily exercises to take you deep within yourself to heal from the past and create this beautiful, energetic, protective connection that will guide you and support you along your journey to healing, to feel safe, to explore those areas of your life and of your past that impact how you respond today, know how you carry those issues from your past into your life and release them with ease, and lay down the things that no longer serve you as you change the interpretations of your past, while you safely and easily process grief and heal your past pains and reclaim your joy. And again, meeting and befriending your inner self, reconnecting with them, reparenting them in a way that wasn't available to you when you were vulnerable, when you were weaker, when you were young. And really reestablish, rebalance, and realign those healthy relationships with your body by tuning and connecting into them. So next, after that is part 3, expanding your loving journey. This is where you really take that inner light that's lit now and shine it and grow it and expand it. Another powerful transformational healing session to truly and completely set you free from any judgments, resentments, comparisons that you may still be holding on to, and really embrace this new level of awareness, this new consciousness, these new unconscious shifts and that are blocking you from living your purpose and getting into that space where you're living in your passion from a loving place. Again, another transformational healing session to reprogram and rewire your unconscious mind to keep you living in this loving space, in this forgiving space, in the space where you're free from judgments, unaffected by naysayers, by critics, by trolls, by attacks, by the people who are trying to trigger you, and just repel comparisons, because at the deep cellular level, you are enough. And when you know you're enough, those things that used to influence and affect you no longer can the way they used to. So again, part 3, expanding your loving journey, has exercises, activities that allow you to unlock this deep conscious awakening so that you begin to take fast action towards living your true, authentic life of passion and of purpose, and to connect with what the universe and the divine allows you to really enjoy and guide you to that space and living in that space of positive aspirations from that moment on. So again, just really embodying and really embracing this powerful key to freedom as you transcend that old story from the abusive, painful past into one that is the true and beautiful you. So with all of that, we're almost done. So thank you for sticking around. I want you to reflect on this question. If you're thinking, I'll do this later, I wanted to share this because I did have a client who said that to me the first time we connected, and about a year went by. She still followed me and we still stayed connected. And then she reconnected with me and said, Sarah, I'm ready now. I thought I was ready the first time we connected, but I wasn't. We're ready. I'm ready now. As she thought, you know what, I just got out of this relationship. I just need to move on. And what happened is she ended up getting into another emotionally abusive relationship with a different narcissist, one that was way worse than the first one. She ended up getting into some really bad business deals and financial deals, and ended up having to have her house repossessed and move. Found herself really, really struggling in a deep, dark, and emotional place, and really struggling financially. So overall, when she added it all up, all of those things she had gone through with investing and really things that were horrible, bad decisions that she got talked into by that emotionally abusive person. She ended up wasting about $64,000 with all of that. And now she said, I wish I would have listened to you sooner, because I knew if I had invested in myself, then I wouldn't have gotten into this position where now I'm like in the hole. So I'm ready to finally do the work. So please don't be her. Please don't wait that long. Give yourself this gift of investment to healing. This is what the program looks like. Again, you can see the values of each section where you get full access to this program. That alone, even just the therapy and the sessions and the healing alone, all of the exercises, the journey that you're going to go on through, you can see that it's valued at over $6,000. Plus you get this incredibly beautiful, supportive community. You get lifetime access to all the recordings as well. So we're talking about a savings, if we're looking at what she wasted in the past, $64,000 versus this program that's valued at more than $6,000. I mean, some of the things you get in there are priceless. The support, the connection, the friendships, the healing journey that you get to go on are priceless. They're life-changing. So there are some things that you can't put a price on, but some things you can. And this program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, for those of you, I told you to remember that number 3,000. And I wanted you to remember that, because that is what you're saving if you invest in this today. You can get started today in this Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program for only $19.97. So your savings is of $3,000, the $3,000 gift to yourself for committing to doing this now. So you can click on the button below and you can join us now in this incredibly powerful program, and you can take advantage of saving the $3,000, as the everyday price for this is reduced to $49.97. But for those of you who've stayed this far, I want to honor you. I want to commend you, and I want to gift you that savings of $3,000. So if you're not sure yet, however, you can book to click a call with me. And I want to highlight this: if you're wanting to also invest in doing one-to-one sessions, then you can book a call with me and we can talk about that, because the investment for the $19.97 is for the full access to this program for everything I just showed you. So that is how you can go ahead and not delay and get started on this and your healing journey today. And if you're wanting to work one-on-one with me, or combine the one-on-one work with the power of this program, then we can hop on a call together. I do only have 15 spots at this price. This is not something that everyone has access to. It's not something that everyone can take advantage of. So I want to encourage you to act quickly and act fast, because there are limited spots. Only 15 spots is this price. I'm seeing some messages come through that people are already completing their enrollment into the program. So there's actually less than 15 spots at this price. So I do want to encourage you to take advantage of this today. Don't wait. Don't be that person who made the mistake and rode the excuse train and then came back 6 months later, like not wanting to live and being so much further in debt. So you can book your spot in the program today at this price, or you can book your call with me. Again, what more incredibly divine, beautiful people have said, they're experiencing permanent results, quick results. They're speechless. Words cannot describe how they feel. And this may be you, like this client on the right that says, I'm extremely skeptical, but I could not go on living another day the way that I was. Our first session, remind you, this is someone we worked one-to-one. She was shocked at how quickly we got to the root and cause and got rid of that emotional block that she had been struggling with for years. So working together is the best decision that she's ever made. I want this to be the decision that comes from your heart, a full commitment to yourself, your life, and loving it in a whole new way. So whether it's jumping right now into the program and taking advantage of the $19.97 instead of the $49.97 and saving the $3,000, or whether you're wanting to hop on a call with me and work one-to-one together as well. So before we do that, if you're still on the fence, I want to highlight who this is perfect for and who it's not. This investment in yourself is perfect for someone who's ready to take their life and their healing to a whole new level. after having had an emotionally traumatic and abusive past, who's ready to take their power back and make new choices, even when those choices are tough, but really know that those choices are right for them, to deepen their healing, learn about themselves, heal themselves, and create radical positive change in their life. Someone who's unafraid to live life to their fullest and is fully committed to their healing and their growth and is ready to lay down and let go and drop those excuses and take consistent daily action. That's who this is ready for. So if that's not you, please don't join the program because I don't want to see you in there. But if that is you, I would love to see you in there. So let's just highlight who this is not for. This is not for people who are not ready to take ownership and responsibility. This is not for someone who thinks they know it all. This is not for someone who just wants temporary relief, but wants to continue to blame others and complain about the narcissist or go through and continue to get external validation. This is for people who want internal healing. So if you're someone who wants to keep complaining about your problems instead of doing something to actually change them, then this is not for you. So this is not for people who are interested in learning more about the terminology or disorders or problems or, I heard that it was this and NPD and that. No, this is someone who wants true transformation and healing. So if this is you, nothing against you, but this program is not perfect for you. So again, 2 offers. Offer number 1, go and join us now. There's less than 15 spots now. I can see some people joining already. Join us now inside our Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program. Go ahead and get immediate access and begin and get started on your journey now. There's 15 spots at that price of $19.97, saving you $3,000. If you want to be like this client on the right who said, there's no way I would be in life. I would be where I am in life without this. And just saying she absolutely hated her life in the past and now she's alive and can see life in color again, and any negativity, any negative energy bounces right off her. Like she's got this protective barrier now. So again, there's less than 15 spots available now. If that's where you're ready to transform in your life, take advantage of this now, the $19.97, and join us inside the program. Offer number 2, if you also want to work one-to-one or just want to work one-to-one, for everyone who's stayed to this point in the webinar, I've opened up my calendar for the next 7 days. So you can book in a free 30-minute connection call with me. During this call, we'll take a deep dive into your life. We'll take a look at where you're stuck and blocked and where you'd like to be in your life and see if we would be a good fit to work together one-to-one. Again, opening up my calendar for the next 7 days for a free 30-minute consultation and connection call, and have opened up 15 spots to be available for that as well. So those are the 2 offers. Either jump in the program and get started now, or book your call with me to see if we're a good fit to work one-to-one together. So that is the next step. Dive right into the program. It is $19.97 US to begin completely transforming your life today, or book that alignment call with me if you do have any further questions or are also looking to work one-to-one with me as your transformational healer through private sessions. You will click on the schedule or click on the link to schedule a call and then just fill out a quick survey. Remember to fill it out completely when you're booking your strategy call and to be complete with it. And to jump on it now because spots are limited and they do fill up really quickly. Oh my gosh, I can see some of you guys already booking your call with me. Those notifications are coming through and I can't wait to connect and speak with you. So that is the next step. Make sure to take advantage of it. And again, to book your spot in my calendar, you'll click the button below and you'll be taken directly to my calendar to book your spot, or just head on over and hop into the program and take advantage of saving $3,000 and join us today. That is it, you guys. I am so glad that you are here. I'm honored that you stayed, and I cannot wait to take you on your transformational journey as well.